Did you was discovered in when you were like 15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
15.
Did you when you like started, was someone discovered you, did you ever think, oh, this is not for me? Or did you think this is not worth it? Or was it always like straight in, you hit the floor running and it was just plain sailing, going straight through the air?
No, I don't think any part of my life has ever been plain sailing. But what I felt at the time was, like most young women or young girls, like we do grow up fixated about with the idea of being famous or well known and people noticing you in the street. So in the beginning there was a little bit of that, and there was, seeking validation as well, like, and having a sense of value that people recognized and understood. That came with it as I was younger. But as I grew older, it became much less about wanting to be or prove how pretty I am or not. Do you know what I mean? It became
Yeah.
much more about a strategic move with financial targets and goals. I treated it like a business. I don't think every model lasts 20 years or longer, and I don't think that comes from being the prettiest or the most photogenic. I think it comes from having a clear strategy, both financial and career, and from agency perspective. Because I've handled my career differently as I changed and as I grew older and wiser at different times. So um, not plain sailing, but I'm very happy that I made it what it was, and it worked very well for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think through that, like I think I kept tabs on you when I first met you in terms of like what you was doing. I remember seeing you in a 50 Cent Justin Timberlake video, and I was thinking, oh wow, like from the little, not saying Carla because it wasn't that high profile, but from that to that, I was like, wow. And so you go through it, and then I didn't really see much of you after that on like in terms of like videos, and stuff. I think you maybe were doing something else. But what was brought to my attention as well is that you wrote a blog, if I'm correct. You started writing a blog. It was
Wow, you really did a lot of Googling, didn't you?
I did a Googling. I knew of it a bit. So once
Okay.
upon a sexy time, a blog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you start writing that? And have you always loved writing?
Oh, Nathan, I feel so like, I feel so exposed right now. Okay.
You started it.
I know, we should have talked about this beforehand. So I would have been
You don't
like, oh
have
my
to.
God,
You don't
please
have, we can go.
don't dwell on the music videos.
We can edit this out.
No, we don't have to edit anything out. Honesty is always the best way. It is part of my story and I'm owning it. But, like obviously now that I'm, my daughter is 10.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No. Let me finish what I was saying. Like for when I hear things about music videos, a part of me has a slight cringe on the inside. I'm like, dude, I'm a global banker right now. So you know what I mean? Like, so a part of me is like, ooh, and another part of me is like, everything adds to the story, and there's nothing that I did that I say I'm ashamed of. You know what I mean? But it's just, it feels like I'm talking about a different person. Like so that's, because I think especially because I was very early stages in my career, I would for sure say, the last so bearing in mind, I stopped about 2.5 years ago at modeling. I'd say the last 6 years prior to that were by far the best because I was super focused on my strategy. My strategy worked. I had clear goals, and I met them. I achieved that. I'm very proud to say that I ended my career on a high. Where I was booked 3 months in advance for lots of commercials, and those are the kind of things that are considered the money jobs in modeling. Like, so that's you know yeah, those are parts of the story that are more recent. So when you take it way back, I'm like, whoa, I have to think, like, how did I feel? How did I, what did I do at that time? Like, so that takes a minute to remember because I don't think about it. And funny enough, you mentioned my blog. Like, I started my blog, I only had my blog throughout one of the hardest times of my life when I was going through my divorce.
Mm.
You know, like I found it very difficult to talk to friends or family because everybody was so opinionated, you know, like so everybody wanted to, you know, like insult him or tell me what they thought of my marriage. And I didn't want all that. I wanted to be able to express how I felt without having to hear anything negative about a decision that I made wholeheartedly when I got married. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, so that was the whole motivation for my blog. And what was funny enough, one of my friends was encouraging me to do that because I made it very clear I want no opinions from anybody. You're not living my life. You're not me. Leave me alone. Right. And he said to me, well, the only way you can do that is by just, if you need an outlet to let it out, start your blog. So it was about, you know, how in the beginning, the whole concept behind Once Upon a Sexy Time was I remember, oh, there was once in my life where it was just, you know, I was just pretty and doing music videos and modeling and do you know what I mean? All of these things were my life. And then you become a mom and a wife and not sexy. Do you know what I mean? Like it was not perceived to be that way. Of course, I felt hot still, but do you know what I mean? Like all
Okay.
these things kind of changed, and then having to go back to okay, I'm now gonna be a single mom, and how do I now transition back to a career? You know, I had a lot of medical problems at that time in my life as well, so I hadn't modeled for maybe 3 or 4 years, trying to get healthy and get back to strength. um, Combine that with a divorce, you know, that took a
Mm.
long time and took a lot of emotions. But my very first blog post I wrote, I pressed post at 11 p.m. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and 5,000 people had read it. I don't know anything about how to promote, or I don't know anything about blogging, internet. I just about know how to send an email and join a Zoom meeting. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not the one who do you know what I mean? Like I'm not the one who's gonna know how to, you know,
Mm.
promote all these things. So the fact that that happened, I was like, wow. And people were writing such wonderful, supportive stories and sharing their stories, but there was no judgment attached to it. There
Mm.
was just a camaraderie and a, you know, be there for each other kind of feeling, which I loved, you
Okay.
know. But yeah.
So at the time of you writing this blog,
Mhm.
where was your career? Like just as you just had
So
Rosie?
when I was writing the blog, Rosie would have been around 1.5 to 2 years old, and I
Okay.
had been so throughout my pregnancy, I had a very difficult pregnancy. I had a tumor in my belly, so I had a few surgeries, and I was recovering at that time. So I was not working for about 3 years at
Mm.
that point.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so trying to figure out who I am again,
Mm.
you know, and what am I going to do now in terms of career, and my body looks different, you know, like it's everything's different when you've had certain major
Mm.
health scares and operations and stuff like that. And um, figuring out what's best for Rosie, how to heal us as a family, and then how am I now going to progress in life, and you know, what am I going to do career wise? That was a challenging time, you know,
Mm.
very challenging time.
Would you say the blog was an outlet to help you get through that time? Because
100%, 100%. More than anything else, I appreciated people emailing back and not just commenting, but then, you know, women would tell me about their stories with their husbands and, you know, and their relationships. And, you know, and it was not about, you know, man bashing or complaining about our husbands or ex-husbands. It was not about that at all. It was just about, you know, okay, now we have to get it together and be strong, you know, but at the same time, be honest with how you're feeling and just keep going, you know, and that kind of support from complete strangers,
mm.
them telling me how my story impacted them and vice versa, gave me the strength to be like, no, it's not just about me. It is, and now I have to prove that, my God, I can rise and fall and rise again, you
Mm.
know, like, and keep rising. And yes, falls happen. Everybody goes through ups and downs. But to me, it became more about, you know, being a beacon of hope
Mm.
for other people who had similar or worse experiences.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So,
beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful that you've impacted so many women like that. And I think at that point you must have felt really like empowered as well for yourself, because you said it was a difficult time. So that must have not only given you strength, but it may have given you also a bit of satisfaction that you was helping others too at the same time. So it was almost like a journey together. Or
I think that satisfaction, it sustained me and it kept me strong and kept me going. But I don't, because while you're dealing with turmoil, it's hard to rest and be like, yeah, I've got this, because I don't have it yet, right? So that came years later when, like I said, I had to rise and I had to fall, like, so getting back, not just where the previous rise peak was, to excel from that. And, like, I'm a very, I don't get comfortable. Even when I know I'm on a rise and I might have surpassed the last peak, I'm still kind of like holding on, because I need to keep going and keep going, because it's so easy to fall again when you have no one else to rely on other than yourself. Like, so that kind of moment of, oh my God, I did that, came 2 years ago when I finished modeling. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, wow, like, and it took a casting director who I knew from modeling long, long time ago to say, if I handled my career how you handled your career, it would have gone better for me, because it became pure strategy. It wasn't about how to be the prettiest one. It became about strategically knowing my market and maximizing my market, like, and that's the strength that I feel, that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Resilience, that's what it takes.
I get that from you totally. And I think I was reading through the Google stuff, and it was
I'm now scared. What else are you reading on?
no, it's nothing deep. There's nothing that bad, Rach, at all.
Okay.
It was it was nothing that deep. It was like he was regarded one of the hottest models in the world at one point, and I was like, wow, that's something massive. Like,
Hold up, you didn't know when I was coming to the Apple
oh.
store? Like, I mean,
I forget about this ego. You know what?
Google needed to tell you that? I mean, come
Oh
on.
my God, I can't deal with you.
Sorry.
No,
I'm on best behaviors, and go ahead.
You was at
What
Cannes
happened? You
Film
forgot?
Festival. Would you just say?
Yeah. What happened? You got thrown off?
Yeah, I did. You was at
Sorry.
Cannes Film Festival or something like that. Is that what was that? What was that about?
Fashion TV. I don't even know. You have to remind me. So you want to send me the link of what you read? Yeah, I mean, I did some work for Fashion TV a long time ago and won a couple of Fashion TV modeling awards and stuff like that. I'm not good at kind of bigging myself up, so I'll always kind of downplay it. I don't know why I do this. Like,
It's fine. I have the same
like, it's just really, yeah, I mean, I need to learn from, from someone who can just go, here I am.
Nope, it's fine, because
what
your
I've done. It's
strategy is
just,
working right now.
yeah.
So,